Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi issued a stern and sharply worded message to U.S. President Donald Trump on January 2, signaling a clear escalation amid rising tensions between Washington and Tehran. Araghchi directly warned President Trump against meddling in Iran's internal affairs, delivering the message publicly through a post on social media platform X. The Iranian foreign minister slammed Trump's latest remarks, branding them as reckless and dangerous, and accused the U.S. president of inflaming an already volatile situation. Araghchi further stressed that Iran's armed forces remain fully prepared and on constant alert to defend the country's sovereignty against any external threat or violation. Araghchi said, quote, "Those in Iran impacted by transient exchange rate volatility have recently been peacefully protesting, as is their right. Separate from that, we have witnessed isolated incidents of violent riots, including attacks on a police station and throwing of Molotov cocktails at police officers. Given President Trump's deployment of the National Guard within U.S. borders, he of all people should know that criminal attacks on public property cannot be tolerated. This is why President Trump's message today, likely influenced by those who fear diplomacy or mistakenly believe it is unnecessary, is reckless and dangerous. As in the past, the great people of Iran will forcefully reject any interference in their internal affairs. Similarly, our powerful armed forces are on standby and know exactly where to aim in the event of any infringement of Iranian sovereignty." Iran also put up large banners threatening further attacks on Israel and a U.S. military base in Qatar, underscoring the growing threat of military escalation. State media broadcast images of these banners, which featured maps and marked targets from the 12-day Israel-Iran conflict. The move came after Trump's January 2 post on Truth Social, in which he commented on the ongoing protests and unrest inside Iran. Trump warned that the United States was locked and loaded, and prepared to intervene if people were being killed in Iran. In his Truth Social post, Trump wrote, quote, "If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Protests erupted across Iran on December 28 following a sharp and sudden fall of the Iranian rial against the US dollar, triggering widespread economic anxiety. Demonstrators were heard chanting "Death to Dictator," as the currency plunged to around 1.42 million rials per US dollar, marking a historic low. Tensions between the United States and Iran have also remained high over Tehran's nuclear program, which Washington views as a major security threat. Iran's defense minister said on January 2 that the country's missile power cannot be destroyed, rejecting claims that military pressure could weaken Iran's capabilities. The defense chief declared that bombs, negotiations, or what he called cowardly assassinations on scientists and commanders could not stop Iran's missile program. He also claimed that Iran's military strength has increased since the 12-day war in June, arguing that recent conflicts have only hardened Tehran's defenses. These comments came just days after Trump threatened military strikes on Iran over its missile program. Speaking alongside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on December 29, Trump had openly threatened to attack Iran's nuclear sites, sharply raising fears of a wider conflict.
Now I hear that Iran is trying to build up again, and if they are, we're going to have to knock them down. We'll knock the hell out of them, but hopefully that's not happening. I heard Iran wants to make a deal. If they want to make a deal, that's much smarter. You know, they could have made a deal the last time before we went through, a big attack on them, and they decided not to make the deal. They wish they made that deal. So I think, again, they should make a deal. They want to make a deal, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Yeah, please.
Mr. Trump, WMLI24 News Israel, would you support the overthrow of the Iranian regime?
Who?
Iranian regime.
I'm not going to talk about overthrow of a regime. They've got a lot of problems in Iran. They have tremendous inflation. Their economy is bust. Their economy is no good. And I know that people aren't so happy, but don't forget, every time they have a riot or somebody forms a group, little or big, they start shooting people. They kill people. And the people tend to... I've watched this for years. There's tremendous discontent. They form 100,000, 200,000 people. All of a sudden, people start getting shot. And that group disbands pretty quickly. So I've watched it for years. They're vicious, vicious people. Yeah.
Mr. President, will you support an attack, Israeli attack on Iran, if Iran will not have a deal? if Iran will continue with their ballistic missiles and also nuclear weapons?
If they will continue with
Yeah.
the missiles, yes. The nuclear, fast. Okay? One will be yes, absolutely. The other was, we'll do it immediately.